This is Dave Brixius,
This is Joe Cleezy.
and we're here with the program, a special edition. We'd like to thank Bob for coming in from 7 Stars. We appreciate it. I know we always,
Thanks for having me.
we always
Appreciate
definitely call you out because all the work you do, you know, sending out that press release. I know you send out the paper down there,
Absolutely.
and you always include us on. So we greatly appreciate it. I mean, that's really awesome that you do that because not everybody does.
Yeah,
To get the name out for your kids, supporting your team and all that kind of stuff. And I know it was a rough season for you compared to the year before,
Right.
but you still did it. I mean, I give you a lot of credit for that because a lot of people were like, I'm done. I'm not going to do it.
You know, I do this for the kids, and I love what you guys are doing here. So anything I can do to help the kids get their name out there and get some recognition, I'm all for it.
And that's the funny thing. Last week, I'm reading through the game report. I'm
Yeah.
like, hold on, this is Middletown he's talking about.
Yeah,
And I told
Yeah,
Dave,
yeah.
you know, most coaches, I don't say most, but I was just surprised that this report was basically about the other team.
Mm-hmm.
And
How positive it was.
Right, and that shows how selfless you are.
Right.
And, you know, like you just said, you know, just trying to get kids' names out there, and you always gave a detailed report, and you gave pretty much detailed report about Middletown at all levels last week, and you know that's something that impressed me, and that's why I was like, okay, he has to come on because you've done a great job all year, and we appreciate it.
Well, I appreciate that. You know, I live in Middletown, so I know a lot of these kids too. So you know, I gotta give them a little shout out too.
Understood.
You know, we're all gonna be cheering for these kids when they get up to the high school level, whether they play for, you know, the Middletown Youth Club or 7 Stars. So I support all kids.
You know, and I think that's what it's about. I think, you know, why I think Ed and I were drawn to the CFAs because the passion of you guys as coaches. I mean, there's a lot of you guys that aren't dads.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which
Right.
is great. I think that's what, you know, you need to see out there.
Yep.
And you guys dedicate your time. You know what I mean? It's not just, well, you know, I have practice once a week, twice a week, you know, fly by, whatever. You guys are out there all the time. You scout.
Yeah.
You guys,
Yeah.
I mean, I've been at your practices. You know what I mean? I've been down to see them. I'm like, wow, this is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How intense you guys go, how much goes into it. You guys know the other team, the plays, and all that kind of stuff. And I think that's fantastic. And, you know, that's why I think Ed and I were so drawn because of the dedication that you guys put in. And this, you know, I know people say thanks to us for doing this.
Yeah.
This is nothing compared to what you guys
Right.
do. You know, this is one night. You know what I mean? We just get together. We have a fun time, you know, trying to promote the kids as well. But you know, we always talk about how much support we love the coaches down there when we come down and, you know, speak at the meetings and things. Just the, you know, the feedback we get, which is awesome. And you know, thanks to you guys.
That's a lot of things that people don't see is how much the preparation goes on behind the scenes. You know, it's not just 2-hour practices 4 or 5 nights a week. I mean, like you said, we're out there scouting because, you know, these kids are working hard, so we owe it to them to do the best job we can because they want to win. I mean, it's not always about winning, but it makes it a lot more fun.
Right. Yeah.
So that's the way I always felt. I owe it to these kids to try to go out and win games and do the best job I can as a coach to help them get better. And not just football players, but, you know, learning life in general.
Right. Now, in the beginning of the season, we was hearing a whole bunch of stories that, you know, all crazy kind of things going on.
Yeah.
You know, at different games or whatever. As a coach, what were you thinking about that? And it seems like it's pretty much cleared up.
Yeah, I haven't
The
heard
last
anything.
4 or
Yeah, I
5
haven't
weeks
heard
now.
anything.
Yeah,
So-
I agree. There was some dust ups there at the beginning of the season. It does seem like it's quieted down. You know, like you guys always say, and I agreed with what you had started out. I think it was one of the beginning of the season. Support these kids. You know, be positive. You know, if you bring a kid down, that's not doing him any good. My philosophy was always positive reinforcement. You know, let the kid know what he did wrong or did right. If he does something wrong, find a constructive way to get him to do it better. You know, and there's no time out there for someone, you know, being negative and booing and calling kids names and stuff like that. I mean, why are we here? We're here for these kids.
Right.
And I'm just giving back what was done for me, you know, when I was a kid coming up through the program. And I think and you really have to have that overview, man, because these kids, we owe it to these kids because they're the future.
How long have you been coaching for 7 Stars?
I just completed my 9th year.
So you've been at the midget level all 9?
No, 7 on
Okay.
the midget level. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yep.
And you're the director of it, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I'm the football coordinator. Yeah. So
Man of many
He is the
hats.
Don.
yeah,
He
it's,
does it all. He does it all down there.
I'm not involved in any other sports because I'm doing this one year round, man. And football's my passion. You know, one of the greatest things for me is when these kids are up in high school and they come back and they visit our practices and they're hanging out and they're coaching a little bit, you know, giving pointers to the younger kids. And I just told one of my assistant coaches, I think I get more out of that than anything that happens out on that field. because that means I made a difference in this kid's life, man. He's coming back. He's proud of where he came from. He appreciates what was done for him, and now he's giving back. And that's kind of how I feel like that's my coaching tree, kind of.
Yeah.
And kids are coming back and doing the same thing that I'm doing, and I love that.
Yeah, and I think that's a big key. You know, the kids do come back, do help out, because you know you got to be the influence that we talked about. You got to be a positive influence to help these kids, because there's so many distractions in today's society. So many. You got the Facebooks, you got the phones, you got the whatever, the computers, all this kind of stuff. So many distractions, and it seems like kids are being pulled so many different directions.
Right.
And I know people say, well, you know, football takes up 4 nights a week or 5 nights a week, and then on weekends. But if it keeps kids out of trouble, and he, like you said, he teaches them life lessons. It's not just about football; it's about the life. You know, that you work hard. You put the time in, then you should be rewarded for what you do. You don't work hard, well then okay. If you don't get rewarded, you shouldn't be rewarded, but that's life. You know, that's what it is. And that's what, you know, I love about sports, youth sports, is just the kid's face. You know, you probably love it more. I mean, you see it much more often. These kids do something right that you told them to do, and it actually works for them. They're like, oh my gosh, you know, they're so excited. I mean, just touch on that. Just touch on that. What that feels like.
I know put a smile on your face.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
You finally got it.
Yeah, right. Finally did it right. Yeah, especially to see a kid struggling and working hard, and he's just not getting it. You know, that was a lot of our this year with the season we were having. A lot of our focus was teaching, you know, basic fundamentals, because that's kind of where we were at as a team, and. Yeah, just to see a kid, that's why you told me to do it this way or that way. And when that light clicks on, man, that's just a great feeling. You know, it makes you feel like, you know, you're making a difference out here with this kid. And yeah, man, that's a big part of what I love being out there with these kids. It's a blast. I love it. I love it.
All right, now, we're going to put you on the spot right now.
I figured this was coming. I knew this was coming.
Since you are the football coordinator, you've seen a lot of football.
A lot. National conference.
On National
mostly.
Conference. Yeah, I was going to say National Conference. Yeah. Who do you think takes it for the Pee-wees?
Oh, for the Pee-wees? There's so many good teams. It's hard for me to pick at that level. I don't know the teams as well as the midget level, but that Steelton team's really good. But I was very impressed a couple weeks ago when we went to New Cumberland. That's a hard-hitting team there. I'm going to have to pick Middletown, of course. I got to pick Middletown.
I like it. It's a supporter. I like it.
How about the pony level?
The pony level, if someone beats Steelton, I'll be amazed.
Yeah.
That team, there's something else. There's something else. I know they're taking some criticisms and everything this year. People gave them some shots, but hey, man, them kids are out there playing. You know, they're playing football. They're doing it right. You know, so they're gonna be tough to beat.
All right,
they're gonna be tough to beat.
How about this midget level?
This midget level is very interesting. I know some people are probably thinking Cedar Cliff's gonna walk skating to the Super Bowl, but I don't know. St. Joe's is tough. They got some tough players too. I think maybe Cedar Cliff maybe wins a close one there. And that Middletown East Penn game, I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah,
I was
at
the first one. Yeah, and wow, that was something else. I think it's going to be kind of the same blueprint as the first game was, and you know, I think best player on the field will make a play at the end of the game and win it. Is that going to be Jones or is it going to be Fox?
We'll leave it at that.
But you know, that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? These kids out there competing, having a good time, and working hard. And we can sit here and we can talk about that. You know what I mean? These guys that are getting out there, getting after it.
And you know, at the midget level, it's always interesting to see because you know most of them are going to play at the high school level. So it's cliche, but you are looking at the future talent around here.
Without a doubt.
So you know, that's why me going out on Sunday, it's like okay, I'm gonna see these kids in a couple. I'm gonna see them anyway, but I'm gonna see these kids at the high school level in a couple of years. So it's a lot of good talent coming.
Yeah, because I can remember back to the Good Shepherd days of Andrew Ford and Andre Robinson. You know what I mean? Imagine that. Yeah. Imagine that backfield. Yeah, exactly. That's what I say. And you see what they're doing now in high school.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can talk about guys from Middletown. You can talk about guys from pretty much anywhere. You know what I mean? Guys that played at this level and now moved on. You're like, wow.
Well, and Jake Scott and then John Ford are two other ones from New Cumberland. I remember playing against them.
Yeah.
Man.
And you see what they're doing
and
now.
hey, if you want to go in the past, you can go to football-. CFA.org. It's all there.
Yeah, you're right.
Mr. Kamari has everything.
Yeah,
So.
that's
He has
true.
it from 10, 12 years ago. I think he had it
That
set
man's
up there.
amazing.
Yeah,
That
so he does a
man's
great
amazing.
job. The whole conference, I think. Just touch on that. What's it like when they expanded? You know, now you have, 30 teams in compared to what you had, 10, 11, 12 or something last year, whatever you had. You know, has it been a transition, problem, or you think it was kind of smooth? I mean, I know you had the problems off the field. I'm not talking about those instances.
Right.
But I'm talking about within the house, you know what I mean, with the teams coming in.
I think the biggest thing that they had to get settled was the boundaries.
Okay.
And stuff like that. But I think most teams have that worked out now. So I was excited. I think when they added the more teams and they created the 3 different conferences, it really they were able to even out the competition levels better, and every team has a shot.
Yeah.
Every team has a shot. Halifax doesn't have to play Holy Name or the Packers or someone like that. They have a chance to win it against equal competition. So I love it. I love it. I think it's one of the best leagues, if not the best around. It's great.
I know you and I always talk about
Totally
it.
agree.
Yeah, we're always talking about
It's
it.
3-0.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then,
No doubt.
and then we talk about, expanding to that Turnpike Classic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's awesome.
That was so fun last year, and I didn't coach, and I regretted it because we had a lot of players playing. But man,
this year?
that was so cool. I don't think if they need me, I'm in. But
There you go.
Tired
He
as
needs
man.
in. That's it. Let's get him in.
we always said, my staff always said, we're gonna do it before we retire. I don't know if it's gonna happen this year or not, but
Understood.
we got some couple years left. But them Turnpike Classics, and now they expanded it.
Yeah.
Where it's the whole weekend long. I remember that team from Philly that walked off the bus in their uniforms, helmets on, ready to play football. I mean, that's great. I mean, how can you not love that?
Yeah.
And the games were good. CFA won 3 or 4. And now they including Pee-wees and ponies. I mean, that's a great weekend of football. I think they have set up.
Yeah.
And that's icing on the cake, man. The Super Bowl weekend before that, it's gonna be a fun 2 weeks.
And I think that's what's great. I think that's why we really like it, as well as you expand it. They keep growing. It's
Yeah.
not like, hey, we
Yeah.
stayed dull. We still did the same things we did 20 years ago. The weight limit hasn't gone up. We barely move it. These kids are getting bigger and all that kind of stuff. And you guys move with it. So you guys adjust to how you got to do it. But you come to it as, a decision. You guys go
Right.
around the coaches. It's not just, hey, Joe goes, we're raising it up.
Right.
Well, no, we don't want to. Well, I'm doing it anyway. It's not just a dictatorship. He gets everybody involved, and everybody gets in there, puts their own 2 cents in, and does what they have to do, and then comes to that agreement. And then you got, like I said, that Turnpike class I think is phenomenal. I was at it last year, the All-Star game.
Yep.
The trophies that are handed out.
Yep.
Holy jeez.
Yeah.
I thought I
I'm
was
ready
walking.
to
Yeah, I was. I was looking at all this gold. I'm like, holy jeez, these kids get all this stuff. I'm like, man, I need to go back and play for just a day. I'll come out of retirement, man. Just give me a medal or something.
And not just that, but the kids that make friendships. I know the kids.
Yeah.
Some of the
Oh,
kids
yeah.
that played in last year, they're still in contact with some of the teammates and friends that they met that day. So man, they're making friendships from that day, and I mean, football goes a long way, in your life. Things affect you in ways you don't know, and it's just, I love it.
Yeah, I think that's great. Yeah. Anything you want to add to this weekend, coming up in the Super Bowl that you want to say here?
Nah, I'll be at Holy Name with you guys watching a great day of football, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's going to be exciting on Saturday, and
Yeah.
then following week definitely the Super Bowl, which is always exciting. I think you got the 2 great venues, West Perry, and you got Steel up there on the hill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that's going to be fun.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know what I mean? And then you follow the following weekend right there, Central Dolphin, to kick it, to end the whole season off. And then I know you guys will get ready again.
Absolutely. I'm already looking forward to
You guys
next
take
season.
maybe 3 weeks off.
Yeah.
Christmas is over. Let's go. January,
That's it.
boom, we're ready.
I'm
right
ready
out
to
the
roll.
door.
I'm ready to roll now.
You know what I mean?
As soon as my season ended, I was like, all right, let's start on next year.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Bob, we appreciate you
can
coming
bring
in.
it to the Pennsylvania League Football Academy.
Yes. Yes, we
that
can
plug
continue
in.
that right in there. Yeah.
There you go.
Definitely continue right there. But definitely, we appreciate you coming in. Thanks for your time.
Thanks
I know,
for having me, man. I
You know,
really
you're a
appreciate
busy
it.
man.
Thank you.
And you
Thanks
coming
for
out,
everything.
helping out
Yeah.
here, and
Yeah.
all the stuff that you do for all the kids. Yeah. This is Dave Brixius,
Joe Cleezy.
and this is the program.